For many years, the Thrustmaster TH8A has been the king of the mid-range simracing shifter market, but I believe it's definitely starting to show its age. That is where the SHH Shifter steps in. When you look at the existing shifters in the market, you can't help but notice the lack of decent mid-range options. The Logitech G driving force shifter, Thrustmaster TH8S and generic eBay shifters exist as cheaper options which are great for those looking to get into the hobby. But with the lack of features, customizability and functions, they're hardly the first choice for someone more serious about sim racing. On the other end of the spectrum, you have high-end options like the Fanatec Club Sport Shifter, V&M Shifter, SimMagic DS8X, and even multiple $1,000 shifter options. But what exists in the mid-range market? The SHH NewT2 Shifter is a new contender that aims to fill the gap between the low and high-end shifters. It offers both H pattern and sequential modes, a sturdy and durable construction, and plenty of customization options while costing less than €100, which is a fraction of what some of the high-end shifters cost. What stands out with the NewT2 Shifter is the sheer amount of customization options it provides. While the shifter has a 3D printed outer casing that comes standard with a SHH badge and text on the front, you're able to add your own custom logo or text at a small cost. There's even a contact form that you can fill up if you want more customizations to the shifter. I personally requested to remove the text from the shifter body and leave just the logo for a cleaner look, which the guys over at SHH was happy to do so at no extra cost. Speaking of customization, the NewT2 Shifter has a variety of vinyl finishes you can choose for the shifter plate, as well as different shifter plate layouts. Of course, mine is carbon fiber because who doesn't want more carbon fiber on their sim racing rig? The NewT2 Shifter is not only customizable but also versatile. It can switch between H pattern and sequential mode in seconds by simply pushing down and turning the knob 90 degrees to the right. Unlike the Thrustmaster TH8A, there is no need to change out the shifter plate, which can take an average person like myself multiple minutes to do. The shifter also features adjustable shifter tension simply by tightening or loosening two small Allen bolts on the inside. I found myself adjusting the tension to somewhere in the middle, which gave me a shifter that is satisfying to shift while not being too stiff. Durability is also a large concern on the Thrustmaster TH8A due to the use of a chrome-plated shifter plate which will wear out over time. The NewT2 Shifter, on the other hand, features a thermoplastic shifter plate and CNC machine internals, as well as magnetic sensors that transmit data without the need for any physical contact, which means that they are much less likely to wear out over time compared to other types of sensors. But how does the shifter feel in game? Unlike the Logitech shifters' indistinct and subtle feeling shifts, the NewT2 Shifter's short throw provides a balanced mechanical feel with every shift, while not being overly jarring like the Moza HGP shifter that has a very strong mechanical clunk. I've also seen other customers complain about misshifts on the NewT2 Shifter due to its relatively short throw, but I personally have not experienced this at all. The top plate for the shifter does have a longer gate separating the 7th gear and reverse gear, which can help with accidental misshifts into those gears. With that being said, this issue is still something to take note of. Unfortunately, I found myself finding the sequential mode to be less than ideal. As mentioned before, switching to sequential mode takes just a few seconds, but after a few rally sessions, I found the throw of the shifter in sequential mode to be just a bit too long for my liking. Fortunately, at the time of recording, SHH has come out with a new revision of their shifter called the Thorn. According to the company, the Thorn has completely redesigned internals, which features a shorter and more realistic sequential shifter throw, along with new electronics and new shifter plate layouts. Because the shifter is constructed with a 3D printed plastic outer case, this may be a cause for concern in terms of durability. Now, I'm not saying the shifter feels cheap or flimsy, but it definitely does not feel as premium as higher end shifters constructed with a full metal body, like the Simracing TH8A or the Fanatec Club Sport Shifter. I personally don't find this to be that big of an issue, but you should probably be more cautious if you shift gears like in Fast and Furious. All jokes aside, I've only owned the shifter for about half a year and time will tell for longevity. With all that being said, the SHH Shifter definitely provides amazing value for the money with a strong feature set and unique customizability, and I definitely recommend it for anyone looking to get a shifter at an affordable price.